Hello, I'll be explaining my MIT 208 final project on SafeBrowse. It's a hybrid machine learning web application for phishing and malicious URL detection. So the problem we are trying to solve with this project is that before blacklists were used to block a phishing site. However, with the advancement in technology at this time, it's quite inefficient, and so that the users can view their site is dodgy or not, we are trying to check whether the URL is phishing or the okay one. So the primary users of our system could be everyday internet users who want a second opinion on how to check if the site is okay or the URL is okay, and secondary users can be companies who want to use our system to save their employees from malicious sites. So what features we have completed is like URL check if the site is safe or unsafe. We have included 6 statistical models and our hybrid main model that we have named deep trace, which use BERT, XGBoost, and Random Forest. Uh, and there are account sign up and login, all user authentication. And next, in next version, we can add deep learning models and additional transform models and so on. So talking about the system architecture, this architecture has been designed with front end and back end. The front end used React single page application with Vite and Tailwind CSS, and the backend is FastAPI backend, and database has been used to store the data with SQLAlchemy for local and SQLite when deployed in render. So all this makes the system we have work. Furthermore, talking about our hybrid model, the main model that we use as default to check whether the site URL is fishy or not. So it takes a raw URL, it processes it with the BERT encoder that creates 768 features, and we use 20 handcrafted feature. So altogether there are 788 features. They pass through hybrid vector and XGBoost with 150 trees and leaves, and then the final vector of 738 dimension is created and finally passed through random forest to check whether the site is safe or not. So talking about the technology stack is React, Vite, and Tailwind are for front end, Fast API, and SQLAlchemy and SQLite for database. So Bigcrypt and JWT for basic password protection, and XGBoost and scikit-learn for our models, PyTorch and transformers for deep trace hybrid model. Furthermore, the implementation, we started it as algorithmic proposal on 207 and moving it to machine learning approach in 208. 6 statistical model were trained, the deep trace final hybrid model was trained, and to make the system whole, we use authentication and DB, of course, and finally deployed on render. So the result is it has user authentication. User can check their dashboard. It has a real-time database. The major limitation is that the hybrid model we have wakes around 440 MB, and technically the render allows us 500 MB, and because of the resource constraint, we'll be showing that on a local device. However, rest of the things have been done, and the statistical models are limited in the system because of the resource constraint, of course. And in conclusion, SafeBrowse does one simple thing. It gives a second opinion before we click. The live demo can be accessed through this link, and the repository has been also shared here. So finally coming to our main project. So it is hosted on render at this link. So if I try to enter any URL, it's going to say that default hybrid model. As I mentioned, the limitation, we couldn't host it online. The default hybrid model is not loaded error, and it's falling back to decision tree model. So this is unsafe, of course. If we go with some URL like this. It is safe, of course. And to show the hybrid model, I'm going to show it in my local. So this one is my local interface, and it actually runs the default hybrid model as well. So as you can see the result. Now moving to the main browser, let me also show the database that we have here. So all the users that has been created are here, and the check history of user are here. And in the system we can simply create an account. Let's say I'm creating test user at gmail.com with the password 1 2 3 4 5 6, some random password, and yeah, these things are working. And in the database, in the dashboard, we can check all the results that have been browsed by the user. So that is all about the system, and this includes my GitHub repo that has all the codes, and this is my local interface of the model, and I have my code right here that is running my backend in this terminal. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.